And everyone's laughing. That was the best reaction ever. And you played it out very well.
Yeah, well, I was on my laptop because I didn't have a controller. I was just controlling everything on my laptop, and I just accidentally pushed back on the actual track. So I was like, I didn't notice that the volume was all the way up. So I was like, oh my God, embarrassing. I wanted to die.
But actually, if I could do it again, I think like if I could like decide for you, I think that was perfect. It was funny.
It was perfect for you, but no, it's not, bro.
They loved it.
They did. They
loved it. They honestly loved it. It made everything better.
I was very fortunate that there was a great crowd, and they were just laughing at everything.
Such a good crowd.
It's such a good.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome to another episode of The Clever DJ. My name is ILIA.
And my name is Nino. Welcome back to our second episode. We are stoked to be doing this episode for you guys. We got another topic to talk about, so take it away, buddy.
All right. So when I first approached you, when we were complete strangers, and I knew that I wanted to do DJing. I wanted to be a DJ for a living. I didn't know exactly what it is I wanted to do yet as a DJ. Do I want to be in clubs, weddings, or what is it really that I want to do? But I didn't really realize that I didn't have much of a choice when I approached you.
No, you didn't. Not at all. Well, not technically. I met you when I was DJing a wedding, right? But that doesn't mean I just do weddings. Honestly.
But that is, I would say, what, 80% of your venues?
Yes.
Like 80% of your clients are wedding clients?
Yes.
Right?
It's true.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I didn't have much of a choice, because you told me when I'm ready, you'll take me on and I'll do weddings. Now, full disclosure, I'm still not doing weddings because I actually got a call today. I have an opportunity for a wedding in June, but I'm very busy that month. I have lots of plans, and that week I actually can't do it. So I'm not going to take that opportunity, but there's going to be lots of other ones. I work with several DJs, but it essentially when I approached you, I didn't realize that's what it's gonna be for the most part, and I didn't really think about different styles of DJing.
Honestly, that is our topic. It's different styles of DJing. What I do is literally open format DJing. It's you can categorize it as mobile DJing as well, because it's a little bit of everything. Open format is literally playing every genre, literally playing everything that you know, and mixing it in a way that, for the crowd, you want to play it great, right?
Yes, and there's the club DJ. There's also open format in most venues, most kind of businesses like lounges, bars, and there's, I think, in my opinion, the way I see it, I don't know, maybe it's not like that when you have more experience, but the way I see it, wedding DJing is like its own category.
It is,
even though it's also open format.
Yeah, it is, but you're playing for a more wider variety of people. Age ranges will be far apart from club. Usually club DJs will tend to stick to same age range, which is not the case for wedding DJs or mobile DJs, right? So they're playing pretty much for everyone. Right?
Yes, and the reason why I think wedding DJs are different, even though they're also in the mobile open format category, like for example, when I did that bowling alley, that was also kind of like a lounge, because at night it just turns into this wild place. It felt like I was a club DJ and an open format DJ, but it was still just like a very different experience than doing a wedding event, like when I come with you, right? Because at a wedding, very often you're also the coordinator. You also even if there is a coordinator, they'll come to you and start asking you a bunch of questions, and you have to be so much more involved with the client.
And you know
so
what?
many more steps.
It wasn't like that back in the day. You were solely a wedding DJ. You would just DJ, take care of the music. But nowadays, it's more of a hybrid now. You have to be able to MC a little bit, coordinate, know what's going on, like a little bit of everything, not just playing music, stopping and playing, right? It's more complicated than
I
that.
wouldn't know.
Yeah, not yet, bro. But
Not yet. Yeah, it's I literally just got into it. So to those of you who didn't listen to us or watch our podcast, by the way, we are on pretty much every platform, every popular platform out there: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, just anything you can think of. And we're also on YouTube. So if we're saying something that kind of didn't make sense to you, it's probably because you needed to see it to understand it.
Yeah.
But we're trying to keep track of that. But yeah, what was I saying?
I have no idea, man. But we were talking about different types of DJing. So there's turntablists. It's another type of DJing as well. It's more of like manipulating the turntables and records to make a new composition, which is very, very. It's like almost like the top tier of DJing itself. It's more like the art of DJing, and that's where everybody wants to be. There's club DJing, which you need to cater to a specific crowd or a specific genre if there's a type of night. But there's also hip hop DJs who solely just do hip hop, and there's a lot of different types of DJs. So you can go deep house, you can go house, you can go EDM. So it's a vast range of things that you need to cover, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so there's lots of different types of DJing, even if it's all within the same category of open format or non-open format DJing. Lots of different sub-formats. I don't know if that's even something you can say. But yeah, what I was going to say earlier, to those who, for those who didn't see our first episode, our previous episode, I am an absolute beginner. I'm just in the beginning of my journey, and we thought it would be interesting to capture something like that when an absolute beginner and a pro who's been doing this for about 20 years are kind of, having this discussion about just so many different topics that a lot of people on Reddit and on Facebook and literally on every platform are talking about. And this is just something we never saw online. So today we're going to discuss different questions that we both noticed come up pretty frequently on Reddit. That's one of the main places where I learn this craft alongside.
This guy lives on Reddit.
I live on Reddit.
He does.
Just because it's there's just so much information there, and then I bounce it off Nino, and I'm like, hey, I learned that. Can you show me this? Or hey, I heard that.
Yeah, there's a lot of answers that are on Reddit that you can't get from anywhere else, right? So it's a good platform.
Yes,
honestly,
definitely. And we're not sponsored by Reddit, as cool as that would be.
Can you be sponsored by Reddit?
I don't think you can be.
You can, man.
All right. So we have a list of questions.
Yeah, we have a list of questions.
So we already spoke about what is open format mixing and how does it differ from other DJ styles. I believe we kind of covered that, right? The next one would be what are key skills required for a DJ specializing in open format mixing? You want to take that?
The key skills for open format mixing, I would think that number one, like with everything, like DJing in general, you need to be able to read your crowd and know what exactly they want. That's the thing. And when it comes to weddings and mobile DJs, even before you start DJing, you're already assessing the people around you. Who are you going to be playing for? Like if you're playing for like an auto show, you're already looking at the people, the demographic, how old the people are, what they're wearing, and stuff. So you're already kind of like thinking of what to play, right? Genres, certain songs. So that I think that's very, very important for open format mixing, to be honest.
Yes, and I think we kind of also semi-answered that question also earlier, but let's continue. Can you explain the process of selecting and blending tracks in an open format mix?
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, you take that one too.
Well,
I'm still figuring it out.
the process of it is very. It takes experience, of course, to know what to play, right? For certain crowds. In terms of blending the tracks, of course, you want to make sure that the BPMs are lined up. The energy is very important as well. You have to make sure that the energy matches the same song or the same couple of songs that you're going to be playing. What's important now is key nowadays to keep the fluidity of the actual set. So it sounds good. If you want to take your sets to a next level, you got to get into key mixing for sure.
Yeah, which is something we'll actually talk about towards the end of this list of questions. Next question. How do you approach transitions between different genres and tempos in open format mixing? So that's something that I am still struggling with because, again, this is for a beginner. This is so much work to figure out how to go from a very like quiet and not quiet, very slow and I guess not a very popular track to a banger. Like, how do you really build it up? And in terms of the build up and in terms of the BPMs and everything, again, you take that one as well.
Well, first off, you have to know your music, right? And to be a successful DJ, you have to know the ins and outs of music, like the energy levels. Well, if you've been listening to music, like you know that this is a banger, right? And you experience stuff when you play for certain people. Like, okay, this gets a great reaction from certain crowds. Okay, this is not going to work. This is going to work. For example, Spirit of the West, right? You know that they're going to work for this crowd. But it's not necessarily going to work for this crowd because, you know, it's a different, totally off crowd, right? And I'm talking about more wedding DJ stuff. But, yeah.
So pretty much a playlist that works for you at one place is definitely not going to work for you in another place unless it just has a lot of the same dynamic, same kind of people.
That's the thing.
Who appreciate the same type of music, but it's rare. It's not that it doesn't happen, but
it's very rare. Every crowd is different, not the same crowd.
Yeah, and we still answered a really good question here. Well, you answered a very good question here, but that's let's focus more on what we asked here because we kind of like wandered off to a different question. Specifically, how do you approach the transitions between the different genres? Because I find it extremely confusing and really, I guess it's all about skill, but there's not really a theoretical answer here, but I guess that's why we wandered off a little bit.
So between all those genres, there's no real straight up answer. It's just, it takes experience to weave through all the different type of genres with different transitions and stuff. So it's all experience.
Yeah, because when I read that question, I already had the answer. Even though, you know, I tell you, you take that one. I know the answer for that one already because I kept asking you, hey, they want this song and then they want this song, or they want this genre, then they want this genre. I mean, how do you even introduce it? Not even the mixing part. The energy is going to be so different. How do you make sense of it? And it's experience. There's no theoretical answer for this, at least one that I found. It's just something that I keep seeing everywhere, and I was asking myself too. And yeah, I think that's a very fair way to answer this question, right?
Yeah.
Now, next question. Can you provide examples of famous DJs known for their open format mixing style and their signature techniques?
Well, you can do this one. I know you know.
The one that I kind of wanted to mimic, and I'm sure a lot of people wanted to because it's so cool.
It's new. It's he's cool.
Yeah,
too.
James Hype.
Yeah.
The way he, like his signature, like loop, and then the way he shortens it, and just that hype, literally his name just like it just goes so well with his technique. The way it just creates that anticipation for the drop. I always looked up to the way he kind of controls the crowd, the way he reads the crowd, and it's almost like, I mean, at this point they already anticipated,
Yeah.
but it started somewhere, right?
It's cool, man. He started like a revolution sort of thing, right? So a lot of DJs are copying his style, but you know, it's inherent. It's his own style, and everybody knows like I want to be like James Hype, right? So it's cool. And then there's a lot of like other DJs that have their own signature, like Scratch Bastard. He always scratches in a phrase or whatever, and it that sounds like amazing, right? So there's a lot of different mixing techniques, and there's even with like EDM trance DJs, a lot of long form mixing, taking out elements of one song and blending it into another. So lots of different types.
And you can tell by the style of DJing who it is really, right? I mean, and that's amazing that these DJs have a signature, and that's what I wanted to have. So I was like trying to kind of mimic, and I realized that it's not about mimicking. You have to find your own style, which is something I'm still looking for.
Yeah, well, everybody starts off by copying someone, right? And that's just the reality. But after a while, you want to have your own style and own identity, because that's the only way for you to be known and have your own signature and make a mark in this industry.
Yeah, so somebody can talk about you, right? And not, oh, he's just doing what James Hype is doing.
Exactly.
Or, yeah, and honestly, like, you're gonna only be able to copy so much, right? It's not really about copying.
And from copying, you can always turn it into your own.
Yeah,
right?
Innovate.
That's exactly how it is. Anyway,
I remember the first time I managed to do that. It was actually after a gig, and I told my buddy, "Hey, Chris, check this out. I'm gonna do what James Hype does." And I wasn't sure exactly how he does it, but I kind of figured it out. And I remember he was recording me, and I still have the video somewhere. If I find it,
I'm sure
I'll
you
upload it.
have the video, man. You have everything.
Everything.
He records everything.
But I just remember how happy I was, and nothing really makes me this happy. That's why I love this so much. Next question. How important is it for a DJ to read the crowd when performing open format sets, and how do you adapt your set accordingly? We kind of spoke about it already, but if you...
Yeah, how important? It's number one. It's top. It's the number one thing of being a DJ. Like that's tops. More than just BPM mixing, beat matching. Number one is reading the crowd. It's
knowing what they want to hear.
Knowing what they want to hear. If you don't know how to play for a crowd and playing what they want, I don't know. You're a jukebox, right?
Yeah.
Literally. So
literally, yeah. Actually, I'll speak about that last gig that I got from you, because you had another gig and you couldn't do that one. What a great problem to have.
Yeah.
So that was the first time that I continuously was reading the crowd, and at some point we'll upload segments of that, because I recorded my set, which is something I recommend to every beginner DJ.
Everybody needs to record their sets.
Record your set. You're gonna learn your body language. You're gonna learn your mix. You're gonna learn the mistakes you make, the way you interact with the crowd.
Exactly.
Do you look weird on camera?
Their energy, and then you can see how they react to certain songs you dropped. You can see like if you could have done better, if you could have played certain songs better, made them longer or shorter, but just by their body language, right?
Yes.
So,
yes, and again, if you look weird on camera, it means you look weird to them too. So
not necessarily.
No, not if you're like very like self-conscious about it. if you literally are doing things that you maybe shouldn't be doing, and it could be any
Like what? Nail biting or
nail bite. I've seen DJs nail biting. I've seen DJs maybe just like on their phone too much. I mean, it's not weird, but it's incorrect. You shouldn't be doing that
watching
all the
the
time.
screen the whole time instead
the
of
screen.
looking up. That's an important thing.
Maybe the way you respond to the request or crowd is maybe you're very tense and you don't realize really how your customer service skills are not where they should be. It's just it's gonna show you what they see when you're there, right? The things that you're not very aware of.
Yeah, and you can see if your mix actually sucks or if it's
Yeah. And by the way, also record the actual mix on your like Serato or whatever you use.
Yeah.
And then listen to it, because I listened to so many mixes from different gigs I had, and I'm like, oh, Nino, I killed that one. It was so good. It was perfect.
But then when you watch it in video, I was like, oh,
Or listen to it like the actual clean, version that came
it
from the
wasn't.
actual.
Yeah, it wasn't as clean as you thought it was.
I'm like, holy, that is not as clean as I thought it was. But they still liked it. You know why they liked it?
Why?
Because I read the crowd and I played what they wanted to hear.
There you go.
And again, if let's say, and we always make that joke, right? Like, he's like, don't worry. Like, they don't know that you're a beginner. So they won't notice the things that you notice because you're already a musician. You've been doing DJing for a little while. So you will notice certain things and you'll judge yourself, right? More than they would.
You got to stay calm, cool, and collected, man. Even if you're freaking out inside, you can't show it. You got to have a stone cold face, honestly.
Or laugh with them. Like, I'm going to mention this. We were at a wedding, a pretty beautiful venue. One of his biggest clients, I think, right?
Which one was it?
Was it Northridge Inn?
Oh, Northridge. Yeah.
And I mean, you're a return DJ there, right? You're on the list there.
We are on the vendor list there, so they recommend us all the time.
Not only did we almost run out of gas on the way there.
Oh my God.
Was that the night?
Yes, it was. I'm gonna make a vlog on that.
We have a long video.
Oh my God, that was terrible, man.
It was fun.
It was fun. At the same time, it was really stressful, man.
Because if we run out of gas, that's it. There's no DJ.
And the thing is, it was a 2.5 hour drive up north. So, if you know your car, you know your car, right? But I was like, okay, I still have like a quarter left of gas. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna find a gas station. But when you reach those burbs and all forest area, I'm like, oh, I start to realize there's no gas stations around,
or they're closed, or Google Map says there's a gas station there, but there's nothing there.
Yeah, and then when you're, oh my God, we were on empty for what 25 minutes before we actually.
It was a couple dozen kilometers. Yeah, it was over 20
I was
minutes.
stressing. I'm like, oh my
Big
God.
car, heavy, like
We had so
gear.
much equipment in the back and everything. So
Big wedding.
yeah, it was a really big wedding. So
So that's how it started. And then this guy decides to scroll through his, just like rewind the track, but the volume was up.
okay, this is at the wedding now. Are you talking about? You're confusing them.
No, but I'm saying that's how it started. And then when we got there already,
The ceremony. During the ceremony.
So they're literally like saying their vows and everything.
Oh my God.
And this guy goes like, I'm like, everyone looked back. This guy's like pale, and everyone's laughing. That was the best reaction ever. And you played it out very well.
Yeah, well, I was on my laptop because I didn't have a controller. I was just controlling everything on my laptop, and I just accidentally pushed back on the actual track. So I was like, I didn't notice that the volume was all the way up. So I was like, oh my God, embarrassing. I wanted to die.
But actually, if I could do it again, I think like if I could like decide for you, I think that was perfect. It was funny.
It was perfect for you, but no, it's not, bro.
They loved it.
They did.
They loved it. They honestly loved it. It made everything better.
I was very fortunate that there was a great crowd, and they were just laughing at everything.
Such a good crowd.
It's such a great crowd, and that's the thing with those events up north. They're there to just party because they're not going back home. They're there at
there's cabins. There's
the cabins there. So they stay there for the whole weekend. So they're gonna get sloshed.
Yes.
So we're kind of
no, but that was all good. I still remember what I was talking about. Do I? No, I do. And I was reading the crowd. So at the gig that I was that I received from Nino, it was a last minute gig. He gave it to me, 24, like 30 something hours before the gig. And
yeah, the client just reached out to me through Google, and literally the day before I said, "Yo, are you available?" And he happened to say, "Yeah, I am."
yeah. Oh, so I was actually working the entire day. And then in the evening, because I was doing overtime, of course. And then in the evening, I prepared. Was it the evening? What time was it? Yeah, it was in the evening.
It was evening. Yeah.
I prepared for a couple hours, and I was like, "What am I doing? I'm not at the level where I can just wing it." But I don't know. I felt confident, and I feel like this is the turning point for me. I'm starting to develop now. And that's why we wanted to start this podcast now, before I get much better, and then. I'm not saying two pros, but still not an absolute beginner anymore, right?
You'll always be
a beginner to you.
For me, because... Yeah.
But still, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. I know.
And I remember the beginning. Oh, man. You didn't even get to watch the whole thing. We didn't have time to watch the whole recording.
No.
But it started very like, what am I doing here? And, you know, I was playing the music. I was surviving. Nobody had anything bad to say, but it wasn't like super exciting. And like I said, if he was there and he played there for 2 hours and then he left and then I replaced him, maybe the night would not turn out the way it turned out for me, because it would be hard to follow this guy. But considering, you know, they didn't have anything to compare it to, and they're like just, you know, hoping that it's going to be a good night. I remember it was a very important night for that client. I just, you know, I was already stressed out because there's so much on my shoulders. And I remember I'm looking through the songs and I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm going to keep this for later. I'm going to do this then. And I'm getting into all of these extra details. And I decided to keep all the best music for later. And then I forgot about like 10 tracks. That was about an hour in. And then when they started asking for specific music and I realized, oh, I actually didn't play it yet.
Yeah.
Like Danza Kuduro. How did I forget that track? Because I was keeping it for later. And between that and being nervous, you know, you forget certain things. So then I played it, and I kind of told myself, just relax. You know this music. And I literally started reading them. And this is the first time that I actually experienced it, like physically, mentally. It was just one of the most incredible feelings when you realize that you and the crowd are on the same level. You understand each other like telepathically. And that is way more important than mixing it in a clean manner, beat matching or anything else. And you were telling me that always.
It is what you play rather than how you display it, how you beat match it or whatever, right? It's more what you play. No,
yes.
People are not listening to your mix, how you mix it. They just want to listen to something that they know.
And
right?
Here's the thing. I mean, I believe all the other stuff is also extremely important, but it's more like the icing on the cake. It's important, but if you don't play the right music, you don't even have their attention. And you could be the best DJ ever in terms of like mixing and, you know, knowing how to move from this genre to that genre, but it's important to play the right music, and then everything else comes after.
Unless you're a bedroom DJ, then you're playing everything for yourself.
Yes, pretty much.
So it doesn't really matter then. But yeah, every crowd is different. You play different sets for every crowd. Not the same set is going to work for certain crowds. So
yeah. So read the crowds and adjust yourself to that crowd. So reading the crowd is super important.
Yeah, good job, man, on that gig.
All right, thank you. Yeah. So question number 8. What role does creativity play in open format mixing, and how do you express your individual style as a DJ? That's another question I've seen on Reddit and really everywhere. Again, we rephrased some of the questions, but these ones came up pretty frequently. You want to take that one?
Well, with creativity, it's your individual style that makes you shine as a DJ. So if you want a career in this, if you can get your own specific mixing techniques, scratching techniques, style, if it comes out, then you're golden, right? The people will book you because of your style.
Yeah, but how did you develop it? I mean, you started so many years ago. In maybe the last 10 years, you've been already at that pro title. Like you already got that pro title, right? how did you get to that point where you do what you do when I see you live?
It's a lot about your tastes too. What you play. It's not even just how you mix. It's everything. If you play certain types of music, certain types of songs. Not every DJ likes to play say the same songs, right? And if they do, they have their own way of mixing it. Now, it's not necessarily going to be the same way for every DJ. So we have different ways of presenting songs, and you know, I like to play a lot of like hip hop stuff, like dropping stuff. So I kind of made that transition a while ago, but I already knew what I wanted to do and how I wanted to perceive myself as a DJ.
So you had an image, you had a vision for yourself, right?
Yeah.
And between that and some of your idols, I guess you create your own product. And this is actually touching on the same points or some of the same points as you know, the like when we were speaking about James Hype, or you know, how do you create really your own style? And creativity, I believe, is very important because first of all, before I say what I was going to say, you can tell if the DJ you hired likes the songs that you chose or likes the genres that your crowd was asking for, because unless the DJ is extremely professional, you will be able to tell that, oh, whenever he plays this genre or these genres, it's fire, and like he has so many more like unique transitions, and like you can see him dancing more.
Yeah, he just gets into it more. So
while it's very important not to make the event about yourself, what I learned is, and I learned it firsthand, don't let the client decide for you what you're going to play exclusively. Give them, you have to allow them the option of giving you a playlist. It's going to help you. It's going to help you immensely. But don't tell them that, you know, you're only going to play what they want. And it happens. It happened to me with 2 clients. Like I said before, September of 2023 was probably my first gig when I reached a certain level, a certain beginner level where I could just go on by myself and I didn't need this guy to come with me. And that guy actually, they gave me a good list of like 40 songs or something like that, right?
Are you sure they didn't give me like 500 songs?
No, that's the next one. So at 40, 50 songs, and he was not as particular as the next client, but again, he was asking for certain things, but he gave me more creativity, and that's, I guess, that was a good balance. The next client, I was a little worried about doing that gig by myself because it was a big venue. It was a Sweet 16. Their expectations were just out of this world. The stuff that they were telling me, and I'm like, wow, you know what? I wish they just gave me all the music. Like, she's a 16-year-old girl. So friends will be judgmental.
So was it the mom who gave you that playlist?
Both. So I told them.
The Momzilla.
But you know what? Like, they're awesome clients, amazing clients. But at the same time, they really took over. And I got a Spotify playlist of, I don't know how many songs, like 80, 90 songs at least. Yeah. And then they kept adding more, maybe another 10, 20 songs. And then I got like a Spotify playlist for the chair, like the chair game. I got the whole night dictated to me. Now, I still played a little bit of my own music when I got comfortable there. And I saw people actually are enjoying what I'm doing. But reading the crowd was tougher for me there. You were there, actually.
Yes,
he came to help me set up. And also he remained there for the gig. But I did everything by myself. And you were actually there because we were testing the speakers.
Yes.
I just got my Yorkvilles, my YXL 15s. And I
have my Parasaurus 15s, and I was comparing them. I made a YouTube video on comparison. You guys can check that out if you guys want.
Yeah.
Shameless plug.
Yeah. But the funny thing is, I was going to get those speakers. I thought, I'll get like super professional speakers. And they're not even the top of the line. There's the elite line, I think. And I was telling him, Nino, I'm going to get these speakers. It's going to make such a difference. Thank God I went for the YXL 15s. I had to convince you to take the 15s, bro. they were the right choice for so many reasons. First of all, the price, and they're not cheap.
Yeah.
They're not cheap speakers at all by any means. And I could have gone for the YXL 12, the 12-inch. I upgraded, right? So not only the price was more attractive to me, they have lots of great features. They even have a Bluetooth feature if you want to take it and, not as a DJ, but like just listen to it somewhere, on the beach. But they fit into my car perfectly. And I have a 2-door Civic. So I can, it just fits in the trunk, both of those speakers, and then I have still space on each side. It fits on my dolly perfectly with all my gear. And my God, because I live in an apartment, to carry them from my storage upstairs, downstairs each time, I'm thinking to myself, the other ones, how much do they weigh?
Oh my God, 65 pounds, man.
And then these ones?
45? Yeah, 45 pounds.
And you know what? I was telling him, well, who cares? Like, you have a couple gigs a week. You'll do it.
It's going to make it.
Oh, you care.
It's going to make a difference, man. The size of the Yorkville Parasaurs are just... They're massive. It makes your speakers look like 12-inch speakers.
Yes, I remember you were doing a prom gig, right? And I came there towards the end of the gig.
Oh my God.
I think I came to get paid for something. Yeah, I think so. Or I came to return your QSCs. That's where I came there because you gave me speakers, but when I didn't have any yet. Yes, I came to return the QSCs. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. And you gave me lights. I think for the you had some.
I gave you
lights,
my
I forgot my lights.
Yes, and he's like, dude, I need lights. And I'm just like, yes, he needs me. I'll go there. I'll go there. I know. I knew that day will come.
Once in a blue moon, I need this guy.
Yeah, once in a blue moon. So I remember the end of the gig. I'm like, okay, let's do this. I pick up the Parasaurs, I take it off the stand, and I almost just went backwards.
Is this heavy? You got to be a strong guy to be able to lift that over your head. Like,
I didn't account for how I locked my shoulders in a certain way, and there's a bunch of 16-year-olds, right, whatever, 17-year-olds behind me. I was this close to just
squashing them,
insurance claims,
bro.
Oh my God, and I was like, no, and I just I gained my balance, and it was close, and nobody noticed, but I think you may have noticed.
I did. I was like, yo, careful,
my God.
Man.
And they were right behind me. It wouldn't be a close call. It would be straight bullseye, right on them. And I would fall off the stage and got lucky. Anyway, they're very heavy, and as great as they sound, and again, you guys can watch the video. This guy has his own video, YouTube channel. For any beginner here in Canada, I don't know, do they sell them in the States?
Yeah, they do. It's not as popular. Of course, they have Long McQuaid, which owns Yorkville.
Yes,
same company,
and that's our go-to. There's another music store here, but Long McQuaid was my go-to place for anything music, and Yorkville is the sister company of Long McQuaid, right?
Yeah,
and they make their speakers, and they are just meant to take a beating. Mm-hmm. And I remember actually somebody from their office was at the same bar when I was DJing, and for privacy reasons, I won't mention his name, but he works with them, and he's like, "Are you using Yorkville?" So I'm like, "Yeah." Oh, sounds good. And everyone was coming downstairs to check out the system. Everyone's like, "Oh, sounds good. What are you guys? What's happening here?" And it was just those speakers sound amazing.
Yeah, you were using only one.
I was using one. You're right, because it wasn't a big.
It was a small room, and I advised you just use one, man. 2 is overkill. You could have used 2, but you'd have to turn it down.
Yeah,
but the one was definitely enough for that room.
Yeah, with my OCD, I'm like, no, I need 2 speakers, but one was more than enough.
It was.
I'm gonna say it as if I'm talking to the client. Give your DJ the free reign to be at least a little creative, because what I noticed is if you don't, and the DJ actually knows what they're doing, it's going to be so hard to robotically just play only what you want. Sometimes it just doesn't make sense.
It holds back the DJ from doing what they do best, right? If you give them a playlist that they need to stick to, oh man, it's just it's not ideal.
Yeah.
We gotta do what we do, and we gotta pick songs according to how the people react. So it doesn't make sense.
And a lot of times, not sometimes, not once in a while, I noticed that the playlist is only what the bride and groom likes, or the birthday girl or birthday boy, or the client likes. But majority, or at least half of their guests, don't like or even dislike, like really hate that kind of music. I noticed that. Do you
It
not
depends.
remember?
It depends on the crowd. Sometimes the bride and groom know what exactly they want because they went to school with them. They listen to the same music. It all depends. There's different situations. I found there's
But that's their friends.
That's for friends.
What about family?
Yeah, family definitely.
Right,
They
they
probably
can't tell
wouldn't
what they
listen
like.
to that stuff. So you had to play other stuff for them. So you can't really tell the DJ what to play. You got to give them free reins to play what they want and put in their own crowd bangers. Play for the room. What we do as a living.
Yes, and my gig, one of my gigs this past December was a before the gig you gave me that we were just talking about was a corporate Christmas party in downtown Toronto, and great clients, really nice people, great office, but they were a little controlling with the music, not as much as that Sweet 16, which by the way turned out amazing. Sure, I'm going to do more events with them. And as soon as I started playing what I thought was the right music, I took that risk. Suddenly you see the older people like coming to the dance floor. Suddenly you're seeing those 4 people that were drinking over there and not dancing at all, like moving, getting more like, more confident, and then come join the dance floor. You got to give the DJ the creative freedom.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why I believe it's a very important topic.
Sometimes it works for you. Sometimes it works against you. Because sometimes they know exactly what they want.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah. And that's also where requests come in. You can be creative with those too. You got 50 requests. You're not gonna play all 50 songs. You think about what's the best song to play, right? But I guess that's it for creativity.
That's it.
Right?
Let's move on, man.
Number 9, are there specific technologies or tools that are particularly useful for open format DJs, such as software, hardware, or apps?
Well, we use of course, for DJs, we use Serato, the software that we actually use to mix. There's Tractor, there's other
Record Box.
There's Record Box, yeah. The virtual DJ. So there's so many different softwares that we play around. You use a lot of the softwares for more library stuff, right?
Yes, I actually. So that was my holy grail, my kind of savior. When I go to a gig, right? Well, now it's better. Now I'm already at the level where I'm more confident. But the first few gigs, I was, Nino, what am I going to play? What if they don't like this? I mean, I only have 20 of these songs.
This guy literally texts me at my gig and yo, what do I play after this? I'm like, oh my God, bro.
What's this software is not telling me what to play. and again, that's a big topic. I'm sure we're gonna cover maybe today, maybe another day. We'll see. But it's music knowledge, and my God, do you need that? That's that goes together with reading the crowd. You have to have a good music knowledge, because if you read the crowd, you don't have music knowledge, you can't read the crowd. So you need to know every genre, or most genres. You need to know vast, majority of tracks within that genre.
Yeah. Well, for open format DJing.
Yes. But really, I guess any category, you need to understand the music.
If you're doing club music, and if you're doing just literally hip hop, you have to know different eras of hip hop and know how to mix them. You have your own style and stuff. So
I'm gonna say something
ins
funny.
and outs.
Something makes you laugh all the time.
Oh my God.
I don't know much about hip hop music, the hip hop culture. I literally started watching documentaries on Netflix. I even watched movies that I maybe seen in the past. What was that one? Straight out of
Compton, brah.
So I started watching anything that would teach me about the rappers, the culture, just everything I can, the ins and outs, because I need to take that in because that's not something I was very interested in, but it's required. Everyone calls, oh, I want to hear hip hop. I want to hear hip hop in the 90s or 2000s.
Around you when you grew up, right? That's the thing.
It was like I wasn't born here, right? And then I moved here many years ago, but still, this is a different kind of. It's a different country with different people who listen to different things, and just like the charts, the top 100 here will be different from even the US or UK.
It's true,
especially when you're not living, in North America. It's gonna be even more different. As much as my country was influenced by music from here as well. But here's the thing: it was extremely important to understand hip hop for many of my gigs, or many of the clients who called, and I decided to start watching documentaries and movies, and it really helped. But you're right. Yes, this mostly applies for I guess open format.
So who's Biggie?
You're gonna start interviewing me now on that. But yeah, actually, I learned the feuds and how it started, and how it ended, and it's just you kind of have to know certain things, and
you'll get it, man. It's just experience and just playing that stuff. You'll learn to like it. No, hopefully you do.
I do like it. It's just that I don't live and breathe it the way you do. You love it, right?
I do.
Right. And even when I moved here 17 plus years ago, I had the opportunity to get into that, but that's just not what I was listening to. I was listening more to rock. I was listening more to singer-songwriter stuff. I was listening
ballads.
to ballads. Yeah, EDM. But not hip hop. I listen to
Coldplay.
Yeah, Coldplay. I love Coldplay.
U2.
Yeah, U2 right? Less, but I know a few songs.
Yeah.
But I didn't listen. My hip hop, rap, R&B. I listened to some stuff. The most popular top 40s.
Ones, yes.
And even then, I wouldn't know most of the lyrics. I would just kind of listen to it and not really retain much of it.
Yeah. Right.
Eminem, obviously.
He's top 40.
Yeah, so stuff like that, you know. So what was I saying here? Let's see.
Technologies. So crate hackers.
So crate hackers, Lexicon DJ, the library for DJs. These are the softwares that I use, the programs that I use to save me in those situations where I'm like, what should I play? Crate hackers has this great feature where you can input the name of the song and it will tell you should play this song next or this song based on the BPM or the energy, so you can tell what to go to next. But to be honest, they still have a long way to go.
Yeah,
we're not sponsored by them, so I'm gonna say exactly what I think.
You got all of them, right? You got all of those softwares?
I used Lexicon for a little while. As great as it is, I used their trial. I'm gonna purchase them later. I think I can learn a lot from I can really organize my library using them. But a lot of the things they do, Crate Hackers already does. But they do have some unique features. Thing is, it wasn't just to find out what song to play next. It was also because most of my music came from this guy. So he gave me just a hard drive he had with lots of songs because he knew that to collect all this stuff will take me a long time and will be expensive. Even though I'm on a bunch of record pools now and I'm collecting stuff, and I realized that that's another big topic. You cannot use someone else's music. And no matter how well it's organized, their logic won't be your logic, and you won't find certain things where you think you should find them, and you won't even know really what's there. So Crate Hackers was helping me by telling me, oh, so you want all these songs from the Spotify playlist? Well, you have all of these tracks on this hard drive, on this folder. So instead of going folder by folder, I already know where it was. Problem with Crate Hackers, it's pretty buggy. So I had to always, every time I used it, I had to redo the same step several times because it would either crash or, if you click on something, you come back and the list is gone. But I used it because it really saved me in many situations. So hopefully they do continue doing their good work and fix their bugs and stuff.
It'll get better eventually.
I also used another one that was out of pure fear, thinking, what if one day I crash and burn and I need something to save me during a gig, and that's called DJ Studio. Now, I remember watching this YouTube video by DJ Carlo Attendido on YouTube. And like vast majority of you would know this guy. And he was promoting this software and says AI now can pretty much DJ for you. And I guess if you intervene enough with the software and don't just like throw everything in there and click mix, if you intervene enough with it, you have some manual creativity with it, some manual intervention with it, then it's going to be pretty cool. It's more like a digital audio workstation meets a DJ software. And the reason I bought it was I thought, hey, I'll drop all these tracks in here. It'll create a mix. And if I crash and burn, I can play this mix until I kind of get back to myself and just like relax. And then I can take over. I can switch to my own, to mixing manually again. Doesn't work. First of all, the software is not where it should be. It's a really cool idea. It's great for people who want to create mixes for YouTube and stuff like that.
I don't think so, man. It's not even there yet, man. It's very messy with transitions and stuff.
It was really bad when we tried to.
Pretty bad, but it's gonna get there. Give it a couple of years. It'll get there.
Very new technology.
Very new.
And AI is a topic we would love to cover in one of our next episodes. We almost did it today, but we would like to wait with that one a little bit. So another thing that I use a lot is record pools. And that's something every DJ should use, in my opinion. I mean, that's the way to get music legally and also get it at high quality. And you can also find mixes. You can it's acapellas, even though acapellas right now are not as important to get on record pools because you can use stems. Right?
Well, stems is fairly new. It's not the best. It comes out really good in some songs, but a lot of the older songs that were mixed differently just don't sound great in acapella yet.
But it's getting there.
It's getting there. It's definitely getting there.
Anyway, there's just a plethora of different, like just so many different software, so many different programs you can use, and these are just a few of them. Anything else you use? Mixed in key.
Mixed in key
is a very good one. When you were speaking about really elevating your mix.
Mixed in key is a great software to use if you want to elevate and get better at if you want to harmonically thing your sets. It's just, it sounds amazing. Like it separates you from all the other DJs out there, honestly.
Yes. So this is what I realized about the crowd. Unless they have lots of experience with a certain genre, they will not know that you are a professional DJ per se. They will just have a great time. They wouldn't know, oh, well, he does this, so that skill means that he's a really good DJ. They'll just realize that the night is much better.
Yeah.
And they'll think that, I saw often with people who use mixed in key, they'll feel that things are just more.
It's more.
What's the word?
Fluid.
Yeah, more fluid. Yes, I tried using mixed in key. It's cool. It's a lot of work to like work that into your set because sometimes you want to use a track at a different part of the night, but then it should be there.
Yeah, it's more about what you play, and then sometimes you can't even think about the keys. It doesn't make sense to play certain songs back to back, because it just doesn't make sense with the crowd because they're not going to feel it. But it all depends. It all depends if it's the same bunch of songs that you're putting together.
Yeah.
But mixing keys is great. It's more for on a pro level because the people who are going to be watching you are going to be criticizing your actual set and listening for those transitions and the smoothness. So it's more for that, right? I think for more open format and stuff, it could be more lenient for that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm still figuring it out, but so that's for that, and definitely like one last point on this topic: get your own music.
Yeah,
I deleted everything from my Serato playlist for my crates, and I started recreating it based on previous events. You know, I'm like, oh wow, that playlist killed it. Killed that night. That was amazing. That this Latin playlist was amazing, or this one has lots of reggaeton, and I started creating my own playlist, which my own crate list, which really made sense to me, versus this hard drive that had like 100,000 songs that I don't know most of them, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter how many songs you have. If you don't know the songs or how to play them, put them together, it doesn't even matter, right?
Yeah. And different versions, different remixes, right? Lots of them were like, oh, wow, that's that song.
It makes it harder that way. And you know what? What puts a stamp on your DJ like style is the songs that you play. There's certain types of remixes that you play will really put a stamp on what you how your DJ style is.
Now, I think, are we at the last question? We are.
Yeah.
Question number 10. We made it. How do you stay updated with new music across various genres to keep your open format sets fresh and engaging?
Well, honestly, you talked about record pools, right?
Yes.
That's the best way to keep up to date with a lot of music. Listening to the radio a lot. Spotify always suggests new music, bangers usually. And for me, the new stuff, I like to do a lot of like high school proms and school events, and they school me. Literally, they will request songs that you've never heard of. That if I play, they'll go crazy over. And I find out like maybe 3 or 4 months after that this song is big now. I knew already from the prom. So it's like that's how that I get a lot of ideas from proms and from kids, because they know what's hot and what's banging right now.
Would you say that also works for gigs like wedding gigs?
It is, but I find more if they're younger people, they're requesting stuff. Yeah, but mostly it's older stuff that people already know. Typical wedding music, this typical crowd, right? Unless you're getting like a really trendy couple with that goes to clubs a lot, then you'll get the typical stuff.
And then that's just experience and just research and find out what you need to play.
Exactly. You got to be immersed in music to find new music, and you got to love music in general to get to know music.
You got to do this whole world of DJing. You got to be, again, and a lot of people are maybe they're doing this as a hobby, so maybe they won't agree. But if you want to do this for a living and you really want to start a successful business, you got to live it. You got to breathe it. Every time I call this guy, I hear like you're always mixing. You're always scratching. So
I got to practice, man. It's all about putting that 10,000 hours of work. Is it 10,000 or 1,000?
10,000.
10,000. Yeah.
That's the average apparently. So that and reading articles, getting updated like about like pop culture, and just like really living that lifestyle. And that's how in my opinion, right? I mean, in addition to what you said.
And then just incorporating everything into your sets so you can play it whenever and however you want, right? For any crowd, literally.
Yes. So this concludes our list of 10 questions, 10 of some of the most popular questions we found online that we wanted to answer. Amongst them, we probably answered another 2, 3, 4 questions that we didn't.
We kind of went. We veered away from the actual thing, but it was okay. It's, a lot of good questions, good answers, insight on our opinions.
Yes, and we'll probably do something like that a couple more times. Again, this is just our second episode. We have lots of fun things planned for you guys. We're going to have interviews at some point. We're going to also take this podcast outside. We're going to go to different just public areas where we can find certain type of people, and we'll do contests, we'll do giveaways, we'll do trivia. There's just so many fun things coming up. Also, giveaways here right now on the podcast. We'll have live sessions, even when we're indoors, obviously, right? We'll there's so many fun things planned.
So stay tuned, right? Because we don't even know what we have planned, but you never know. It's going to change a little bit here and there, but we're going to go with the flow.
Yeah. We're still a little new to this.
Yeah,
but
we're going to keep you engaged and keep everything exciting and fresh for
That's
you guys.
for sure.
All right.
That's for sure.
So,
all right. Well, thank you very much for joining another episode of the Clever DJ.
Yeah.
We appreciate you being here again. And
Take it easy, guys.
Take it easy.